A special presentation from the KTVB Newsroom. Bronco Roundup Game Day starts now.
After the Broncos' college football playoff hopes were washed away in a soggy loss in San Diego, Boise State looks to keep their slim Mountain West Championship hopes alive, looking for their first win in 29 days. Thanks so much for being with us here for the Boise State pregame show. I'm Jordan Smith. Austin Parr alongside me. We've got quite an interesting matchup ahead of us here this afternoon. Colorado State coming to town with an interesting looking roster.
Yeah, the biggest thing is if Bronco Nation thinks that they have had it bad 10 times or 10 games into the season, Colorado State loses their head coach gets fired, starting quarterback and running back leave the program, and their backup quarterback gets injured. So I don't think the storylines for Bronco Nation and this Broncos football team are nearly as bad as what Colorado State is going through 10 games into the season.
No, it's been a frustrating game, a frustrating season for those guys who have been trying to turn it around under Jay Norvell. They just weren't able to quite hit that corner. They had a little bit of success, but this was the breaking point. They lose their head coach. They get shut out 28-0 in their rivalry game against Wyoming. They've been doing two quarterbacks. We'll get to all of that in just a second. We say all that to kind of build up the fact that this is a good opportunity for Boise State to kind of re-implement themselves in the race for a Mountain West championship.
Yeah, the man tasked with that opportunity is redshirt freshman Max Cutforth. He is a local kid. He's dreamed of this opportunity, getting his first start on the blue here tonight against Colorado State on senior night. I'm sure he wants nothing more than to provide a win for these seniors, have them go out on top. But we got to revisit what happened last week and the lack of opportunities that he didn't receive in San Diego.
Right, we still won't know exactly which Max Cutforth we're going to get here tonight. Let's show you how it happened. Going back to, again, soggy San Diego might be the understatement of the century there. Field conditions were subpar at best. Insert redshirt freshman Max Cutforth because Maddox Madsen still dealing with that lower leg injury. But this one was all about the run over and over and over again. Max didn't really get a whole lot of opportunities.
Yeah, the biggest thing with that matchup was, especially in the first half, not a lot of creativity within the offense. Inside power. I mean, that's pretty much exactly what the game plan was for Boise State. Yes, we understand that it was a heavy downpour. You were there. We saw it on the Bronco Roundup Game Day show. There was a river flowing behind you, an atmospheric river behind you that doesn't happen in San Diego. Understand the game plan was to rush the football, and that's the identity of this football team. But simply, you cannot blame it on weather for not having creativity, not having different formations to try to get that defense on its heels and give Max an opportunity to hit play action and possibly get some easy first and second down throws, leading to maybe some big third down shots downfield.
Yeah, instead they just tried the same thing over and over again. That was running it inside the tackles, and they had pretty limited success. You saw Dylan Riley's touchdown there, but ultimately another 7-point performance by the offense. The fourth time this season Boise State has only put up 7 points, and the fourth time this season that they were shut out in the second half. Max needs to be able to let the ball air out. Now, weather did play quite a factor in that game. We'll give coaching staff credit there. It's tough to throw the ball when it's sopping wet. Today's conditions on the field looking a little bit better. Let's throw things to our gal, Adrielle, to kind of show us what the game day conditions are going to look like come kickoff.
Yep, thanks Austin and Jordan. Weather today should not be a detrimental factor in this football game. 52 degrees right now in Boise. As you can see, plenty of sunshine. For kickoff in about an hour, we should be still in the low 50s. Of course, that sun will go down relatively quickly after the game starts. And by the end of the game, we're looking at the low 40s. So it will definitely be a crisp afternoon, but pretty nice considering that it is fall weather and it's normally cooler outside this time of year. But if we look at the timeline for the rest of this evening, we'll stay in the 40s for most of the game. Again, sun goes down right about 5:15. So hopefully players and guests and visitors all have coats alike because you'll definitely need it by the end of the game. Wind should stay relatively light as well, so that should not be too much of a factor. It was a little breezy earlier today, but things have since calmed down, looking like it will calm down the rest of this evening as well. Fog likely to roll in later tonight, so if you're going out after the game, that may be a factor, but for those players during the game, fog should not be rolling in at that time just yet. It should be closer to midnight. So overall, great fall weather for a game day today.
Well, you love to hear that. Thank you for that update there. Good fall weather. Fog won't be rolling until after kickoff, after the game here, so...
I like the words crisp.
Crisp sounds nice.
That sounds like fall to me. That is fall football weather right there.
That is fall weather. And you know what? Best part is no moisture. We're not seeing any moisture, which means there's not really any excuses for Max Cutforth to not be able to throw the ball.
Yeah, the loss, we talked about this earlier, the loss really falls on the shoulders of the coaching staff. I mean, when you have 2 weeks to prepare for a football game, a game of that magnitude down in San Diego to try and basically keep your Mountain West title hopes alive, not only that, but be in the driver's seat to host the Mountain West Championship, and there was just a lack of creativity, the not really having plays set up for your quarterback when you talked about how much you trust him all week long, and then the game plan doesn't reflect that. Right. That falls on the coaching staff.
Well, and when Cutforth, he finished the game 12 of 18, but the majority of those throws came in that fourth quarter drive when he tried to get the ball downfield that ultimately led to a missed field goal. He had 7 passing attempts going into the fourth quarter. Yes, it was raining. Yes, we all saw what happened on TV. I survived the flash flood on the field. It was crazy, but at the same time, 2 of those quarters were fairly dry, and there was an opportunity for Max to cut loose. So the question remains, is today the opportunity for Max Cutforth to be able to cut loose?
Having Max is just a variable, but we believe in him. We believe in Max. We did not put him in situations to attack downfield enough, and that's on us as coaches. And looking at it after the game, like I said, when I talked post-game, I had to go watch the film to make sure, and after watching it a lot and making sure me and our offensive coach are on the same page, we had more opportunities to attack downfield, more opportunities to get the ball on the perimeter, more opportunities to give our playmakers the ball in space, and we didn't. So we got to make sure we do a better job of that going forward. We're still going to run the football, but we got to do a better job opening it up.
Well, they're still going to run the football, but it feels like, as we mentioned earlier this morning, passing complements the run game and vice versa, right? You can't just run the ball over and over and over. I mean, you could with Ashton Genty, but that's a different story.
Well, San Diego State did successfully run the football over and over and over, but they mixed up the looks and the formations and things that kind of put the Broncos defense on their heels versus the Broncos offense did not have a mixture of formations and creativity and things that could really put that San Diego State defense on their heels. So they were able to load the box and essentially dare Max to throw, and in the rain, they just never did it.
They just never did. Well, and coming into today's game, this is going to be an interesting matchup under center. Colorado State's quarterback situation isn't a whole lot better. They lost their starting quarterback, Braden Fowler Nicolosi, at the start of the season after their head coach, Jay Norvell, was fired. So redshirt sophomore Jackson Brousseau comes in, tries to play the hero. He's splitting reps with the third-string QB. He goes down with an injury against New Mexico. So now we're on QB3, and it's going to be the man, the myth, the legend, Darius Curry, the true freshman, getting a start on the blue as Colorado State looks to get their first win ever at Albertson Stadium.
Last week he showed his ability to run the football, and I'm sure Bronco Nation hopes that he is not cooking up some curry on this blue turf later on tonight. But he's done a really good job. He's shown flashes of opportunities to really make plays for Colorado State. But with any true freshman or any freshman quarterback getting their first couple of starts, you expect some mistakes. He did have 3 interceptions.
Good news, they're not completely vanished, and they got a lot of help last night, courtesy of UNLV.
In case you didn't know, UNLV, for Bronco Nation, you wanted them to win that football game because Boise State holds the tiebreaker with UNLV. They handled business against Hawaii, which increases the
moving pieces if that's going to happen.
Get your readers on.
Get the readers on. Trying to dial it here. Okay, so for Boise State to host the Mountain West Championship, Boise State has to win out, obviously. SDSU, they have to lose the next 2 games. Fresno State, Hawaii, and UNLV all have to lose once. Hawaii has already lost, so just those other pieces have to happen. The other scenario, New Mexico wins out. The Aztecs lose to the Spartans today, and then Hawaii and UNLV lose once. Right now, as unlikely as that might be the best case scenario for Boise State to host the Mountain West Championship. They just need a big-time win from the Spartans.
Yes. Everything is riding on San Jose State. It's a big, tall task for the Spartans, but just to make the championship, Boise State must win their final 2 games. Fresno State, Hawaii, New Mexico, and UNLV must lose lose once. Now, we obviously know that Hawaii lost last time, so that obviously makes things a lot more in favor of the Broncos' chances to make the Mountain West Championship game. There's a million different scenarios. It'll be a lot more clear after tonight, especially with that San Jose State playing San Diego State. So many states.
There's a lot of moving pieces, and there's a lot of late games.
It's a lot. It's hard to keep up with.
So we're going to have to just kind of keep checking back in throughout the night. It'll be about 11:30 before the dust settles, and we'll have a clearer picture of what could happen here for the Mountain West Championship. But it starts with Boise State having to come clear and defend the blue and send these seniors out right on senior night.
Yeah, on senior night, I think the student section is ready to go to work. They've got their hard hats on. Boise orange and blue with the Broncos logo on their hard hats, ready to bring the noise inside of this this Bronco Nation, this Albertson Stadium. They know that there's work to be done. There's still a lot to be played for, especially on senior night. They're going to work. Players got to go to work too.
Absolutely. And these seniors, tell you what, they've been through a lot. And you're going to talk about it in just a second here. But just 20 seniors from this Boise State class graduating. This will be their final game likely to be played here on the blue. This is a special night. And despite the 6-4 record, Bronco Nation with a 14th consecutive sellout, they're here to send these guys off right. This is a special night here at Albertson State.
Special night. Seniors, they deserve it. They deserve everyone to show up here early, be loud. We saw the tailgate party going on outside. There is a lot of fans out there for this one, despite what's happening in the program. They're really sending out these seniors right. Just like you said, 20 seniors playing on their final game on the blue. No matter what the scoreboard says, though, regardless, they're leaving a standard for what the next wave of Broncos will have to follow. And before they run out for the last time, let's take a look at what these seniors have really meant to this Boise State football program. For 20 Boise State seniors, tonight is the last dance. One last game on the most unique field in all of college football. And one last chance to run out of that tunnel and show out for Bronco Nation on the blue. This senior class has experienced just about everything you can in college football. COVID years, coaching changes, NIL, and realignment. And yet through all of it, they kept showing up. Early lifts, late nights in the film room, long rehab days, and every Saturday when their number was called.
The seniors, it's a special group, man. I'm proud of these guys. You know, those guys have all kind of been here, other than a couple transfers. Those guys were all here when, you know, we had the ups and downs a couple years ago, and they were here through really good, and they here through a season where it didn't go quite like they wanted it to, and they've never quit fighting. They've never been negative in any way. They've always tried to help these young guys, and they're just guys I like to be around off the field.
Head coach Spencer Danielson shows his gratitude in a special way. He handwrites a letter to every senior in the program. A personal thank you for trusting Boise State, for pouring their time, effort, and bodies into this program. It is his way of letting them know they're more than just a name on a roster.
I mean, I love these kids. And despite, like, even talking about Latrell Caples, like, golly, that letter's going to be hard just because I care about him and his life. So I usually it takes me a while. I spend a good amount of time on it and usually do it at night or early in the morning when it's just kind of me here and just thinking about these kids, praying for them. And I always want to be in their life as someone, especially when this is over. I never want anything from them. I'll never call because I need something. I want to just call because I love them, and I want to always be able to speak truth into their life. And that's what it is.
One of the faces of this senior class wears number 3, Latrell Caples, a guy who fought his way back from a major injury and turned himself into a trusted target and a voice inside this locker room. Caples has seen a bit of everything through his 6 years, stating patience and perseverance as the two biggest things he takes away from his journey.
It's hit me. It could be my last game on the blue. I've been really emotional coming into this week, but this place means a lot to me. It means the world. I've learned so much here, met so many people, the guys, coaches, trainers. I'm cherishing it all right now, and I'm taking it all in my last couple of weeks, so just ready to attack.
For Caples, for Feely, for Notriani, for all 20 of these seniors, tonight is about soaking in one more game on the blue. One more chance to fly around in front of Bronco Nation, and one more shot to leave this field the way they want to be remembered. No matter how this season ends, this senior class leaves behind a standard for whoever puts on a Boise State jersey next. A roadmap built on work, toughness, and a blue-collar attitude.
and choosing this program even when it was not always easy.
Well, and as he has all season long, Mr. Jeremiah Dickey is joining, stopping by the show. Athletic Director Jeremiah Dickey, senior night. We made it.
Senior night.
How are you feeling on this?
You know, senior nights are always rough for me. I love these guys. You know, and all day I've been holding back emotion. I think about when these guys got here, and it was, you know, right around the time I got here, and everything they've gone through, from COVID to coaching changes to position coach changes to just life in general. And I'm just so proud of them and our coaches and staff that have poured into them. You come to Boise State, and I know I say a lot to compete for championships, and it goes without saying, hopefully, where people know our hearts. We want to truly prepare these guys for life. And it means a lot to me to get them to this point, and they have so much more ahead of them, and I just pray and hope that we've created a foundation for them to come back to. You know, once a Bronco, always a Bronco, and I'm grateful for Bronco Nation, Student Section, you know, to sell out today. This is an important piece of the process for us, and I'm really excited, and we'll probably get a little emotional out there saying, telling these guys I love them, and I want them, you know, to always have a home, and that's here.
You talked about, you know, them coming in kind of when you came here.
Yeah.
Loyalty is not necessarily like a word that we use in college football a lot. People are always looking for the next deal, the next school to go get whatever NIL deal they want, right? So for a lot of these guys, they've stuck with this program almost the entire time of their entire high school careers. Just that piece, being loyal to this university, what this program means, what does that mean to you to have those athletes stay true?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. It's really sad, and I understand what the industry is, you know, but part of that loyalty ties into the process of getting them as 18-year-olds and growing with them and showing them what life is going to be about, and really pouring into them and educating them, and that's hard to do when you see guys play at 3 or 4 different places. I'm proud of these guys. They committed to a process, and there's peaks and valleys in the process. There's peaks and valleys in life. And the fact that they stuck with us and they continued in their time here at Boise State, and a testament to our coaches and staff that have really poured into them, created those relationships. And it wasn't just leaving, you know, a friend or a roommate. They were leaving a family. And that's what makes this place really special, and it makes me very proud to be a Bronco, and I'm just really grateful for everyone who's poured into them and their loyalty and commitment to us. They will be better men for this, and I just pray for them. You know, life is hard, and you know, and how society is at this point. Everyone gets a trophy, and this microwave society, like, good things take time, and you got to work for it. And life is hard. We all have experienced that at various points, and I think they are going to be that much more prepared for it.
Well said. You hit it right on the head of life is hard, and I feel like this season for Boise State is indicative of that. It didn't really plan out the way that we thought. There was a lot of injuries. One of the heart and souls of this defense, Amarian McCoy, he's out after battling through a knee injury. Madsen's out. But these guys are still following through strong. Another 14th consecutive sellout. I mean, I think that message, somehow you've been able to drill that loyalty through to Bronco Nation, and that seems to be echoing for the near future to come.
Yeah, it's well said. You know, I once again, I have to, especially when you're going through the valleys, you know, and after you reach a peak, there's always a valley on the other side, and you got to fight. And I think about what we inherited and where we were 5 years ago, and in some ways begging people to be here. And now we've gotten to a place that even when we hit a downturn, and even when we're maybe in a valley, and you learn a lot through pain, that they're still showing up. And that's testament to our team. That's testament to Bronco Nation. It has to mean something. It has to mean more. And there's not, I mean, there are no guarantees, right? You got to go out and win, and sometimes your good isn't good enough, and there's injuries, and there's a number of reasons. We're not a place that makes excuses. We understand what the expectations are, but this is part of a process. And, you know, and it fires me up. I want to work that much harder because of our fans, because of our student athletes, because of what we represent, which is much bigger than me as an individual and us together. We represent something bigger than ourselves. And it means a lot to see the progress, and I have to remind myself of the progress that we've made. We have made progress, and there's always more work to do, and that's why we always live this what's next mentality.
I think that, in sports, especially in sports media, we love stories. That's what draw the fans to the universities, the players. Max has got a great story coming in tonight, making his first start on the blue, a local kid, phenomenal story. Just how pumped are you for his first start, and also just for him being resilient last week and going into this week with his preparation, coming in here, trying to get his first win?
I'm so excited for him. He's spoken about it to you guys and others, and just in terms of what it means, this place means to him, and that's what makes this place special. And so I'm grateful for a sellout for him. I'm grateful he's going to get to play in front of family and friends, and he's doing the work, and I'm really excited to see how this game. How we come out, and I know this means something, playing, especially for these seniors. This may be the last time they ever play on the blue. And it may be, for many of them, the last time they ever play football. There are no guarantees. And so I'm grateful that Bronco Nation's going to come loud and be early and come loud and stay late to support them. And I'm excited to see how we show up today.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Bronco Nation, I don't know if you played a part in this, but what's the deal with the hard hats over there? Is that just part of this blue collar message you're trying to get across here?
Yeah, we're always looking at things to ignite the fan base, and especially our students, and with the construction that we have going on here. And we're never finished. It's always what's next. We are blue collar, and that's important to us. And I mean, what about our students? Like, I give them so much credit. This is our future. They're our pipeline to what we're building here, and we get a lot of credit, and we talk a lot about what we're doing as a department, but it takes two. And to see our students show up the way they are, I'm just really grateful for them. They're going to remember these moments, and some of them were here last year, and yeah, maybe we're in a little bit of a valley right now, but it's going to take a team, and we're going to need to work through this and out of it. And I have a lot of faith and trust in the process, and they're a big part of it.
Well, I think that's going to wrap it up. Thank you so much, as always, being a huge part of the show. This is great.
We appreciate you coming by always.
Thank you for this season.
Sharing knowledge.
And all the traveling and stuff you guys do. It means a lot to us. You're part of this team, so thank you.
We
Go Broncos, 1-0.
We got one more next week.
Yes, that's right. That's right. One more next week. All right, so we saw Max Cutforth warming up. He looks loose, locked in, ready to go right behind
Talking about cutting it loose.
That's right, cutting it loose. Yeah, it seems as though number 14, I mean, we're just watching him. He's walking around the end zone like he owns the place. Confidence doesn't look like an issue for him right now.
No, I think he's ready to go. I mean, he's dreamed of this opportunity. We've heard it from him plenty of times, not only this week, but things that he talked about earlier this season. This is his major opportunity. Yes, maybe San Diego State was supposed to be that opportunity, but there was a lot of factors that went wrong in that game, and it wasn't necessarily his fault, whether it was the game plan, whether it was the actual weather itself. Things just did not go his way until the final drive of that football game. So he has a big-time chance tonight to show what he's got, what he's worth, and maybe what the Broncos have moving forward.
Yeah, well, hey, it's a lot of information. If you want more information, though, we've got it for you. If you just want to text the number on your screen, 208-321-5614. You can download the Game Day Guide. Consolidates everything Austin and I are saying, and much more. Uniform combination, records, player profiles, so much more, and it'll be at your fingertips with just a simple text.
And we're intentional, we care about each other, and it's just frustrating. I mean, all I can say is sorry. I feel bad for the guys that didn't play tonight. I feel bad for Bronco Nation. I feel bad for the families that traveled out here, and all we can do is just move on. Next week we'll self-scout. We'll get it figured out. We care about each other a lot. We'll get it figured out.
Well, I was told our microphones are no longer working, or at least mine's not, so we're going to be sharing the rest of the way here.
It's live television. It's okay.
You know, what you just saw there was an emotional Marco Notriani. The last time that these two teams met, Colorado State and Boise State had its heart shattered. The Rams completed an improbable fourth quarter comeback. Headed into tonight's matchup, Colorado State has only beaten Boise State one time. It was that game 2 years ago. They've never won a game on the blue. And with the depleted roster, an interim head coach, your backup QB in the game, it might seem improbable, but this Rams team is no stranger to miracles.
Bronco Roundup Rewind, sponsored by your local Toyota dealers.
Let's take you back to October 14th, 2023. The Broncos were sitting at a modest 3-3 record, on the verge of getting back above 500 in Fort Collins.
It's Ashton Jeanty powering his way in for his third touchdown of the game.
With time winding down in the fourth quarter, Ashton Jeanty extended the Broncos' lead to 20 with just 6 minutes to play, putting the finishing touches on a dominant win over Colorado State. Or so everyone thought. But there was some magic in the air on that cold October night. And then the call. On 4th and goal, Boise State breaks up the pass to put this one away for good, until a flag comes flying in.
Late flag, that'll give them 4 more downs.
Colorado State trying to score here, and they do.
All of a sudden, we've got a 6-point game. But the Rams would still have to get another onside kick.
And here's the onside kick, bouncing around. Colorado State has a shot, and they get it! The Rams are alive on homecoming, ladies and gentlemen.
But this one would be called back.
Illegal block before the ball traveled 10 yards. 5-yard penalty against the kicking team.
So Boise State's offense, who had been off the field for a while, would have a chance to come in and close this one out. But that Rams defense stood tall.
And 4th down coming up. 7 seconds to go.
With 7 seconds left, the Rams would do the unthinkable.
Colorado State looking for their first win ever against Boise State. One final shot. Is it caught? Is it caught? Colorado State! Dallin Holker makes the catch. It's a miracle in Fort Collins. The 31-year-old from England can do what has never been done before in Colorado State history.
Oh,
the
he almost got it.
Is up, and the kick is good. Ram tough in Fort Collins. For the first time in 13 tries, Colorado State takes down the Broncos.
Hope and pray that miracle just stayed a one-time deal. We're going to bring in a special guest here, the man raising the blue chaos flag tonight, former Boise State Mr. Everything, Chris Parr. Yeah. Chris, welcome back to the Blue.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to see Bronco Nation. Yeah.
What's your initial, walking around here, when you were playing, feels like half this stuff wasn't here when you were on the playing field. Yeah. This has got to be kind of a different world.
Yeah, it makes me feel very proud because I think what Boise State has accomplished is really unprecedented. They went from a program that was junior college to not a D1 school to all of a sudden they're a perennial top 25 team. And to do that, and we did it the right way. There was no paying players back then. There was no cheating. There was nothing illegal. And it was just about belief, getting the right players in and getting the right coaches. And so to come and to see this come, it's like the culmination of everything. Everything's in full circle. So it just makes me very happy and proud to be here.
We like to ask, players that come in and come back all the time, how do you pinpoint what makes playing football here for this university, what makes it special?
I think it's just like the values. I think it's just like a very family-oriented, special, humble place. And I think it was one of those, I think it reflects how Boise is as a city. And that sounds kind of corny, but I really kind of mean that because if you really look at yourself humbly and try to fix your mistakes and try to have that self-belief and just keep on working on getting better. That's the Boise grit, that's the Boise grind. And to see what we've accomplished, it's just been from that mindset. And it's that culture that Boise State has had for the past 25 years, which has been incredible. And so it really is something special and it makes me very proud.
I got the chance to talk to Jared Zabransky last year, and I kind of asked him, what is it about this team that year in and year out they're able to kind of maintain, if not raise the standard year, and he said that was the whole thing, was if we can just raise that bar a little bit each year and continue to build off of it, we're going to be a powerhouse when it's all said and done. And it feels like that's exactly what's transcended here.
Yeah, because I think each year Boise State's gained a little more confidence. Because initially it was like, can we really play with the big boys? We think so. We watch film. We believe that we're just as good, but nobody else believes that. And so sometimes you could second guess yourself and doubt yourself. But each year you had that success. You're like, no, we've proven that, right? And so you can really look back in the tough moments when you have doubt and be like, well, look at what we've accomplished, what we have done. And knowing that you had that confidence from your past accomplishments to really go out there and prove yourself. And so that's why it was no surprise by the time it was in the 2010s, Boise State was winning the Fiesta Bowls, beating Georgia, etc. And so now the standard is like it should be top 25 or bust, right? And so now on the one hand, you feel bad because sometimes that's a really high standard to meet and there's a lot of pressure. But on the other hand, that's the goal. You want to be one of those programs, and Boise State, fortunately, is one of those programs.
Peaks and valleys, obviously you go through them. This one's a little bit of a valley for this program right now, considering the preseason rankings and things like that. But how do what's the message in the locker room when there's still so much to play for and a possibility they could still be in the Mountain West Championship?
Yeah, I mean, I think having that tradition definitely helps out, right? Because it's not like you're the Cleveland Browns and it's like, oh, we had expectations, but it's all Cleveland.
Sorry, Cleveland.
Yeah. So, I mean, last year Boise State was in the Fiesta Bowl.
Right.
So you have a critical sum of players on this team that played in that game, right? So they had that experience and they know that they're better than what their record shows at this point in the season, right? So I think they can have a lot of confidence like, hey, we've had some injuries. We haven't played very consistently during the season. But there's a thin line between good and great, between average and good. And if they just get a little bit better, yes, I mean, they can win the conference this year.
I know that you've been in this position before where it's the last time that you can suit up in those blue uniforms. Yeah. It can be a really emotional moment. For some of these players, it might be the last time that they ever put on a football uniform. Yeah. What is that emotional roller coaster like, and what's your message to the seniors who this might be their last game on the blue?
Yeah, just to really enjoy it. Go out there and play and think about everything that Boise State stands for, yourself as an individual and your family and everyone that's pulled for you. This community at Boise State is very special, and I think it's one of the reasons why Boise State's been very successful, because a lot of people come here from California or from other states, and they realize, like, wow, Boise State is great, and they end up staying here and living here forever, right? So really thinking about everyone that supported you and just going out and be like, hey, I'm going to give it my all, and this might be my last game ever or might not be. But I'm in here on the blue. This is very special, and I want to make everyone else that I know, I want to make everyone proud.
Well said.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've got one more question for you. There's got to be a memory or a moment that stands out to you as a former player being back here. Yeah. Is there something that sticks out to you?
I think my junior year, I had 3 interceptions in the first half against my hometown. So that was probably my favorite memory. Yeah. So that was my junior year. Yeah. So that was good. Yeah. That was good memories. Yeah.
Yeah. That one probably wouldn't escape the memory bank from you.
Yeah, it was good.
All right. Score prediction from you tonight, or do you want to just kind of leave that alone?
Yeah, I'll give a score prediction. Okay. I say 28-14, Boise State victory.
28-14. Yeah. Boise State getting it done on senior night.
Yeah. So hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's a blowout. But if I'm trying to give a prediction, that's my prediction for today. Yeah.
28-14. Hey, no one would know better than you as a former player. Hey, Chris, thanks so much for being on the show, man. I appreciate it. Great to meet you.
Best of luck.
All right, thank you. Chris Parr, that is just a blast from the past, an absolute legend in Boise State. We were looking at some of the old game film. He had a couple of really standout moments playing against BYU under the spotlight here on the blue a few years back. Of course, the game against Louisville. And we mentioned just kind of that foundation of brick by brick. He was one of those early bricks that helped get Boise State to the national platform that it is today.
It's got to be so incredible for these guys to just come back to this program and see how much success they've continued to grow and how much the bar keeps getting set higher and higher and higher as this program continues to elevate. Look, I mean, they're going to be in the top 25 conversation every single year. That is the standard. The standard is championships. Jeremiah Dickey talks about it all the time. You come here to compete for championships. You're not coming here to play in some sort of a game that I'm not going to say, but you know what I'm saying is like the standard is set very high here, and that's not going to change. It's got to be incredible for these players to come back and see that.
Well, and it is that double-edged sword of once you establish that precedent and that standard, there's a lot of football teams that would love to be 9-3 year in and year out, you know, and then when that happens here at Boise, or when it's an 8-4 team, all of a sudden that feels like that season's a wash. It's a failure, even though that there's a whole lot of football teams out there that would love to be able to have that precedent.
Colorado State would love to be that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A perfect example of like, hey, we're turning a corner. But with Boise State, and you heard Chris mention it, it's just about being able to elevate every single year. And I think that that's what makes this program so special, and why the expectations, no matter who's in the lineup, are high for a win, no matter if it's here or on the road or against a top 25 opponent.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too is when you get those standards to be so high, you return the loyalty and you get the players to stay and develop into possibly professional players. Obviously, we have Ashton Jeanty in the NFL right now, but there's a couple of guys on this team that are possibly going to the NFL draft as well.
Absolutely. Cage Casey, he is one of them. We did confirm this week that Mr. Casey will declare for the NFL draft.
Mr. Pancake.
Mr.
himself.
Pancake, man, he has been instrumental to this team, hasn't he? He has been an absolute force on the offensive line. He's 6'5", 315 pounds. He started in 38 consecutive games for Boise State, and he's amassed one penalty, a single false start that happened earlier this year.
He is just an absolute tone setter for this Broncos rushing attack, a rushing attack that prides himself in over 200 yards per game. When they don't hit 200 yards, the offensive line is upset with themselves. I mean, that is a standard for rushing the football, not to mention the foundation that he has for every pancake block. Him and his fiance, I believe, or his wife, they donate $300 to the Pancake Foundation, which is absolutely fantastic. He's a monster, projected to be a possible first or second round pick. Good luck. He is crazy. I mean, I'm sure Boise State wishes they would have him back next year.
I wish that, yeah, it feels like they wish they could offer them anything in the world to keep Mr. Casey back in the lineup, but he's on to bigger and brighter things. Potentially, so is Ty Benefield. Ty has been an absolute wrecking ball in the secondary for Boise State, another crucial piece of this defense. He has not said that he will declare for the draft, but it is something that's on his radar while he's on the radar of many NFL scouts. Mr. Benefield, he has recorded 79 tackles on the season. 52 of them have been solo tackles. He's been an intimidating, hard-hitting force in the Broncos secondary all season. Again, he has not declared his intent to enter the NFL draft quite yet. I feel like people would be surprised if he maybe came back. I feel like he sees that he's ready for the show. He's able to hit people at every different level. Probably ready for the show.
I'm not going to say that he's Troy Polamalu, but that's kind of the player that he reminds me of, a guy that can really play anywhere before the line of scrimmage, before that ball is snapped. He could play as safety, he could play as nickel, he could play as cornerback, he can fill the gaps on the run game while also having pass coverage. So we talk about Cage Casey being a tone setter. Ty Benefield, I would not want to get hit by that man. I mean, he flies around everywhere, full speed, early and often. He knows where the football is going to be and always, always, always seems to make plays week in and week out.
Well, we mentioned how good Anthony Calandria was against Hawaii, the quarterback for UNLV. That guy was black and blue by the time that game was up, courtesy of Ty Benefield. Every single down, it seemed like he was getting his hands near the football or on the player who was holding it. This is a guy they're going to absolutely miss. I don't think anyone's going to miss this next part of the team more than some of these seniors. Blitz, the dog, the T-Dog, is retiring after 8 seasons with Boise State. I can't believe it.
It's been a great run. I mean, what else can we say? You know, I mean, who else has a T-Dog that every single time is sitting there on the sidelines? For those of you that don't know, Blitz is sitting on the sidelines barking profusely, but so he can get on the field and go get the T every single time there's a kickoff. They have a race for him when there's a commercial break now. He races a fan to go get a T on the field. Phenomenal performance. Don't know how you're going to replace him.
I know, and there's like a cockiness to Blitz that I just absolutely love, because in the T race, you have to run, I think, to the 25-yard line, get your T, and then come back, and Blitz will steal your T.
Go get his own.
And then go get his own. He's just the arrogance behind it. I love it, and it's so sad to see him retiring, but we wish him the very best, man. That is a good boy. Well, Senior night here at Albertson Stadium. A lot of goodbyes here. We mentioned one of the things that makes this so special, Spencer Danielson writing letters to these seniors too. A lot of emotions as some of these players, Marco Notriani, another player we've talked about all season, walking out here for the last time.
Yeah, it's a lot of emotion. High emotion game, something you gotta, as soon as you put on that football helmet, you gotta play the football game. But just as Chris alluded to, you got to enjoy these moments. These are moments you're going to remember for the rest of your life. You're going to be having beers with your buddies and be like, hey, remember that senior night on the Blue? That was one of the most incredible evenings that you will ever have. Or whatever, diet sodas, whatever you want to enjoy. You know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, you've got to enjoy every single part of this. It's so special for your family and also just the players around you. Celebrate it with your boys. There's 20 seniors that have poured into this university and into this program, and this could be their final game on the Blue. More than likely is their final game on the Blue.
Yeah, unless there was a particular bowl game that might go the Broncos' way, or I guess not their way, depending on how you look at that with the Potato Bowl.
Probably not their way. I mean, we did talk to, okay, so we got two different answers earlier this week. We didn't want to make a big stink of it, but between an offensive lineman and a wide receiver, we asked them if they would accept an invite to the Potato Bowl. Completely different answers. One said, yeah, that sounds great. The other said, absolutely not. I'm just going to leave it there.
He said, no thanks. You can have that.
It's going to be a no for me.
Yeah. Well, and the Broncos, they're going to have to do this senior night without a few of their key pieces here. And we mentioned the injury list that keeps piling up, and one of them is Amarion McCoy. I mean, this is a guy who's dedicated his heart, his soul, his body to this program this year. We mentioned just how much of a wrecking ball he's been. We found out this year he has to undergo knee surgery, and it looks like that was a successful operation. We've seen him on the sideline in his crutches. He's been fighting that a couple of games this year. Had to get his knee drained like twice a week just trying to heal up, and it looks like he underwent the surgery and won't be able to participate on senior night. But it's just a huge blow to this team. Such a vocal leader. Every game he plays, it seems like the opposing student section has something to say about number 7.
As if they didn't have a laundry list of injuries, this football team. Let's just unfortunately have to add another name to that list. But you're talking an absolute warrior and a ball hawk in Amarion McCoy. 4 interceptions on the season. I believe that is tied for the top of the Mountain West. Most interceptions this season. It seemed like almost every single, at least home game, he found and had a nose for the football. He had an interception at Nevada as well. You were there. Phenomenal, phenomenal player. You just wish this doesn't happen before senior night and before they're still trying to play for a postseason berth or possibly a Mountain West championship.
Yeah, and if he's been able to fight through it this much, it must have just been killing him. To miss
2 times a week is wild. Yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there.
To miss senior night, this must have been agonizing for him to fight through. So here's Coach Danielson on kind of an injury update with Amarion McCoy earlier this week.
Amarion McCoy had a knee injury about 6 weeks ago and elected just to fight through it, battle through. I mean, he has to get his knee drained like twice a week because he's battling. It got tweaked again in the game on Saturday, so he's going to get surgery this week, and Amarion's going to be out for the season. It's a hard moment because he loves his team, and he's been absolutely battling. But at this point, it got tweaked again, and he can't go out there and perform the way he knows he needs to and we need him to. And so he's going to get surgery and get it fixed.
And McCoy, 5th-year senior. This surgery effectively ends his time at Boise State, with tonight being senior night. And right now, they're dimming the lights. The seniors are starting to line up, and this is the moment that some of these players have been dreading, not the least of which is Coach Danielson.
Yeah, I mean, he talked about it. He's going to be very emotional. The letter thing, in case the folks that don't know, he started this when he was an interim head coach 2 seasons ago. Started writing handwritten letters to all the seniors. It's now become a tradition. And he takes a lot of time doing it. He gets very emotional because at the end of the day, yes, he wants to win football games with these players, but he wants to grow them into men, and he wants to develop them into great people, and he wants to be there for them because he simply cares. And that's why he's such a player's coach, and these guys really latch on to him. He's never lost the locker room. For all the people that wanted to say Danielson was losing the locker room, never lost the locker room. These players and these coaches care about Coach Danielson just as much as he cares about them.
Well, I think that's indicative of what we see in modern college football now with the transfer portal. They only lost 3 players to the portal after a remarkable Fiesta Bowl run, and that speaks to such volumes of the amount of buy-in that Coach Danielson brought as really a first-year head coach of saying, look, this is the mission, this is where I want to take you guys. You are excellent football players, but you're even better people, and I believe in you guys moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, you just want to elevate them as people. That is the ultimate goal. Yes, I know everybody wants to win Mountain West championships and go to a big-time bowl game, go to a Fiesta Bowl, but at the end of the day, you got to remember these kids are 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, trying to move forward in life. Less than 5% of them are going to make it to the next level. The jump from college football to the NFL is a massive one. And the biggest thing is you want to grow these young men into great people that are going to serve their community and also be able to move on in life and be successful in life when they're done with football.
20 seniors saying goodbye to Boise State tonight. You can hear the crowd starting to get into it as they're being announced over the video board. I think at a certain point, no one knows when or how. And you just heard the T-Dog Blitz getting cheered on for his retirement effective tonight. Again, that might be the saddest one of all.
I think they're doing the starting lineup first, then Blitz is a part of the starting lineup.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Got to have Blitz in the starting lineup.
Boise State taking on Colorado State as we get ready for senior night here. 20 seniors saying goodbye. Head coach Spencer Danielson will individually walk each senior out to the center of the field. I believe the parents are here too to help support their kids as they play in their last game here at Boise State.
I think you might see a senior-themed football game as well, because a lot of these guys, if you're thinking about from Pee Wee football all the way through high school and now through college, this has been a long, long journey, and you want it to end on a high note, and I expect these seniors to show out tonight.
Well, Latrell Capel's kicking us off here, being introduced with flowers going out. He's going to meet Jeremiah Dickey. Right behind him, Jeremiah Irby. Boy, we can't say enough good things about either of those players. Irby with 2 interceptions against Nevada. He's been a ball hawk all season. And now we're moving down.
Yeah, Braxton Feely. I mean, he's been a phenomenal defensive lineman up front, setting that pressure for Boise State. I mean, they've been, phenomenal stopping the run, which leads to them stopping the pass on the backside of the defense, too. What can you say about Braxton Feely? Absolute monster.
And how about the guy who never gets attention, the center? Can we give a little shout out to Zach Holmes? He's come in, he was able to, when Mason Randolph went down, Zach Holmes was there and he said, I can handle the run block, don't even worry about it. And he's been instrumental to this team as well. He's been a great guy. We've loved getting to talk to him in the tunnel every single week. It seems like he's just got a chipper attitude. Really bright guy. Sad to see another senior graduate. And Matt Lauder's up next.
Yeah, I mean, hey, tight end's always open, right? We talk about it so much when we talk about this football team. You're talking about a guy that really, really is a big part of this offense, not only being the security blanket for the quarterbacks, Maddox Madsen or Max Cupford, but being one of the best run blockers on the team as well. Phenomenal tight end. And hopefully, maybe, hey, who knows? We'll see him at the next level.
Yeah, I would hope so. And here's the guy we were just talking about, number 7, Amarion McCoy, giving a hug to Coach Danielson there. You can see the emotion. Boy, he just wishes he could suit up and play for his boys one last time.
It's got to be tough being on the crutches, but still an important moment, a phenomenal moment, special moment, followed by one of the absolute run stoppers in the inside, Marco Notriani.
Man, that is a guy, you can see the raw emotion that he plays with on a nightly basis. You saw it in that clip against Colorado State 2 years ago. He cares about this program. He wants to see them succeed, and he gives his whole heart to this team. That's the kind of player, that's the kind of recruit. If you're looking at maybe playing for Boise State, that's the kind of player they're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, a culture setter, right? Somebody who really pours their heart and soul into this program. We just saw Chase Penry up there as well. Who knows? Maybe he gets another touchdown. the Cutford to Penry situation seemed like it was a pretty positive one for a redshirt freshman quarterback. And then you got the transfer as well coming in.
Malik Sherrod coming in from rival Fresno State, trying to make an impact here in this running backs room, and he has. He's had some great moments, some burst of speed, had some great games against Air Force and against his former team Fresno State on the blue a couple weeks back.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier today. Hopefully this is the day that we've talked about how he could get a punt return or be electric and explosive in the punt and kick return. Maybe today's the day on senior night that Malik Sherrod finally gets a punt return for a touchdown.
That's why they brought him in. They said this guy is shifty, he's dangerous. Senior night, I feel like he's got that electricity going through his veins. Deion Washington making his appearance, number 19, a guy we haven't talked a whole lot about, but he's a guy that they've talked about in the locker room as being kind of a glue guy, kind of a vocal leader for this Broncos team. Followed by Zion Washington, number 21, who's going to be filling in on the secondary with Amarion McCoy out.
Yeah, somebody who's been injured for a lot of the season. Wanted to see a lot more from Zion Washington. Asked every single week when he's going to be back, rehab and things like that. He's finally been back for the last couple games, and somebody who can really be big with Amarion McCoy out is Zion.
And you know what? Let's take a second to look at these Bronco Nation right now. Every single one of them on their feet, cheering on these seniors as they make that slow jog out to the 50-yard line. And you can just see how much this means to every single person in the building. Regardless of the record, a 14th consecutive sellout to honor these seniors, getting one last round of applause before kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? We talk about it all the time. This is arguably the best fan base in the country, and they continue to show out no matter what is happening. The peaks and valleys of this program. Right now, yes, it is a little bit of a lull. It is a little bit of a valley, but you look around and people still show up. This place is still packed. Season tickets are already at an all-time high for next year's football season. They're always going to be faithful. Bronco Nation, some of the best around.
Well, Amarion McCoy, we mentioned him. He's going to be out injured tonight. He's not the only star player as we get back to kind of the game day here. Chris Marshall is going to be out for yet another week. He got banged up a couple of last week during practice ahead of San Diego State, rehabbing really hard, just unable to play tonight.
It's tough when you get, I believe it was a high ankle sprain, not confirmed a high ankle sprain, but that's what happened in practice. That's usually about a 3 to 4 week injury, depending on which that is. But Chris Marshall, you hate to see it, especially with a redshirt freshman quarterback. That's a weapon on the outside that he could really utilize. Can't teach size, too. I mean, we've talked about him all year. We wanted him to break out big time with maybe, 700-800 yards of receiving yards. Just hasn't really happened. But what else can you say? Just another weapon out for Boise State.
Well, and we were talking that this could be a potential Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year early on in the season just because his size.
Yeah, that was my bold prediction.
Well, and injuries, and then there was the discipline issues. He's missed 3 of the last 4 games, and when he's been able to explode and find the football, it's been exciting to watch. It's just that opportunity hasn't quite happened this season.
It's been a combination of a lot of things. I mean, whether it's, the quarterback player, Madsen, getting hurt, or him getting suspended, or him getting now injured as well. It's been a multitude of things all season that just hasn't led to maybe what the season that Chris Marshall and us, what we talked about in the beginning.
Well, all blues in today's senior night uniform combination. The blue on blue action. Fitting way to send these seniors out because in this uniform, they're 119-8 all time. I think that's pretty good.
That's a lot of wins for a uniform combo. That's why we went all blue. It probably looks a little bit black, but blue shoes, blue pants, got to match everybody, got to match the uniforms. Look good, feel good, play good. Very simple motto.
The last time they wore these uniforms, they played UNLV. That went pretty well. Hopefully, we'll get the same thing here. And that can bring us to the 14th consecutive sellout. Again, we can't give these fans enough credit sticking with this team. It got frustrating for a lot of the season, but they're here tonight, closing the season out right.
Yeah, closing the season out. I think we got to get to our score predictions here. I went first on the morning show. You go first now.
I might follow suit here with what Chris Carr had to say. He said 28-14. I'm going to go 31-10 Boise State. I feel like the defense is playing really strong right now. Even without Amarion, I feel like this is the time Cutforth is going to cut loose and put some points on the board.
That's a lot of points. I won't give them that many points. Not as confident. I'm going to say 24-10. Boise State does get a bounce-back victory. They hold Colorado State. Maybe the Rams get a late score, but Boise State bounce back, keeps their Mountain West hopes alive, and hey, sends out these seniors with a big-time win on senior night.
All right. Well, thanks for bearing with us with the one microphone, the tech issues. We want to plug the game day guide one more time.
Yeah,
Please text that number on your screen. You'll get all this information consolidated.
Text BSU.
Yes, BSU to the number on your screen. This is harder than it looks with one microphone here, folks. Text that number. You'll get all the information, player profiles, uniform combos, the whole 9 yards. Carson Cloud, our producer, works to put that together every week, and he does a great job. Well, from Albertson Stadium, one last time this season, I'm Jordan Smith. That's Austin Parr. Let's hope for a Bronco dub.
Bronco dub, that's it.
All right, we'll see you after the game with post-game coverage.
Continue with us and watch free now on the KTVB Plus app everywhere you stream.